So if you do business in the state of Connecticut with regard to transfer and ownership of real estate or manufacturing type businesses, you've likely heard of a regulation that's been around since 1985 called the Connecticut Property Transfer Law. That law requires the investigation and remediation of certain commercial industrial type sites here in Connecticut. Again, if you're familiar with it, you may be familiar with some of the issues with that program and how costly it can be and burdensome for redeveloping real estate here in the state. The Connecticut State Legislature, Connecticut DEEP, DECD, CBIA, and others identified this as an issue that was impacting business and the economy in the state and took a proactive approach and have developed a new set of regulations called the Connecticut Release-Based Cleanup Regulations that begin on March 1st of 2026. The hope is that these regulations will end up being easier to implement and less costly for folks, rather than having the presumption of guilt, so to speak, with properties where the old program under the transfer law sort of assumed that there were potential releases on a property and required investigating areas of concern. With the new regulations, it's much more of a risk-based approach where the trigger isn't necessarily the transfer of ownership of the business or the real estate, but rather simply the identification of an actual release, whether it's an active ongoing spill, a historical release, or in some cases significant environmental releases that are going to be regulated under this new program. So again, every Thursday we're going to be putting out new content, new videos, and I highly encourage you to leave comments and follow along. So please check out the links below and don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. Thanks.